The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Government planning a permanent expansion to the price control list. Press Secretary Clint Watson says that Prime Minister Davis changes his tone to suit his audience, justifying the shift in tone towards shanty towns. And it's 242 Day. We're celebrating all things Bahamian, and we hope you are too. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, February 24th, 242 Day, 2023, and this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we've got a world debut. Solo has a new song just for 242 Day. We're going to premiere it right here this morning. He's going to be here with us this morning as well. And later, it's our monthly segment, our Morning Brand series. And we're going to look at being authentically Bahamian in your advertising, marketing, public relations, what that means, and if it's really necessary. We're going to get into that this morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the government intends to put in place a permanent expansion of the price control grocery list after the expanded list announced by Prime Minister Philip Davis in October expires in April. That's according to Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis. In a national address on October 11th, the Prime Minister said that the items would have been added for a 6-month period. After that time, there would be a review and evaluation on the impact on businesses and consumers. His announcement will be becoming hugely controversial as it had taken grocers and other industry players off guard. When asked for an update on the matter yesterday, Halkitis said the expanded list goes until April 17th, and he says between now and then, he'll seek to come to some sort of a meeting of the minds on a permanent expanded list. Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, defending the Prime Minister's change in tone on how his government intends to deal with residents living in shanty towns, saying the Prime Minister is, quote, eloquent and smart enough to know which tone to present based on his audience. You may recall Sunday during a national address, Davis announced a hardline approach and put shantytown residents on notice. that they would need to find alternative housing. However, 2 days earlier, at the closing of the press conference of the 44th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, Davis struck a softer tone, suggesting that government was concerned about evicting shantytown residents and leaving them homeless. Watson was asked about the Prime Minister's change in tone, which tone the people should accept. Watson saying, quote, "You take both. His message has never changed in both. The tones are different, which signals the attribute of a good leader. You have to know when and where and how to say certain messages." Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alkidis explained that the Central Bank of the Bahamas could not technically remit $232 million of the IMF special drawing rights to government because the Central Bank Act prohibits it, leading the government to issue an amendment to clean up the transaction and make the law change retroactive out of an abundance of caution. He said the amendment is made retroactive given that the transaction between the central bank and the government occurred in December. And Chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation, Savannah's Petty, firing back at F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands, who this week accused the Davis administration of neglecting Eleuthera residents who have in recent times continued to be plagued with water woes. Petty, who's also a member of Parliament for North Eleuthera, saying that Sands was, quote, feigning concern for the Eleutherans and the well-being of Bahamians. In a recorded message earlier in the week, Sands talked about the issue plaguing CARICOM and other issues, including the challenges for Eleuthera. But Petty said that just 4 days before the 2021 election, the Minutes administration gave Aqua Design a new 10-year extension of its contract to supply water to Eleuthera in a non-transparent process. And he said that, quote, until his recent comments, Dr. Sands was mute on the matter. Overseas, Ukraine's leader pledging to push for victory in 2023 this year, as he and other Ukrainians today marked the somber anniversary of the Russian invasion that upended their lives and Europe's security. It was Ukraine's longest day, according to President Volodymyr Zelensky, but that the country's dogged resistance a year on has proven that, quote, every tomorrow is worth fighting for. On a day of commemorations, reflection, and tears, the Ukrainian president's defiant tone captured the national mood of resilience in the face of Europe's biggest and deadliest war since World War II. Zelensky said Ukrainians proved themselves to be invincible in a year of pain, sorrow, faith, and unity. Ukrainians wept at memorials for tens of thousands of dead, a toll growing larger as fighting rages in eastern Ukraine in particular. Although today marked the anniversary of the full-scale invasion, combat between Russian-backed forces and Ukrainian troops has raged in the country's east since 2014. New video from their shot with a drone for the Associated Press showed how the town of Marinka has been razed along with others. In sports, after 3 days of competition at the 2023 Hugh Campbell Basketball Tournament, teams are starting to be eliminated in the double elimination tournament as pool play heats up at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. The Louise McDonald Marlins out of Bimini sent the Essie Boodle Dolphins back to Abaco after a 59-43 victory. Grand Bahama's Bishop Michael Eldon Warriors edged the Akepran Academy Scarabs 43-37, eliminating them from the tournament. Action continues today, and more teams will be eliminated. Tip-off is at noon. And the University of the Bahamas Mingo's track and field program making a great showing at the St. Thomas University Bobcats season opening outdoor meet. That happened in Miami Gardens over the weekend. The Mingos winning the men's 4x400 meter relay and also picking up 4 second-place finishes and a third-place finish at the collegiate meet. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got another day of unseasonably higher summer-like temperatures, but beautiful leisurely weather conditions anticipated as well. As a persistent ridge of high pressure dominates the forecast, that will continue through tonight. Got some special warnings, though. Beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern shorelines. Motorists and pedestrians being urged to exercise caution along coastal roads. There's a slight risk of fog in the early morning hours over the next couple of days, as well as in wooded areas during early morning hours. For all areas today, we're looking at mostly sunny, very warm, locally breezy conditions, stray showers possible, becoming fair and mild tonight. Small craft caution remains in effect for the southeast Bahamas. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, occasionally falling light and variable at times across the northern and central islands, increasing 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 1 to 3 feet near shore, but building slightly higher over open waters across the northern and central islands. Expect seas to build to 4 to 6 feet in the southeastern islands. Temperatures today getting up to about 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. It probably will feel hotter than that, though. And overnight lows tonight getting down about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. Currently in Nassau, it's about 73 degrees, fair skies. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Greetings, allow me to introduce myself. I am the
New Tortilla Lime Crunch Chicken Sandwich from Wendy's.
And I have a little of everything. Avocado, taco mayo, pickles, and crunchy tortillas on top of a delicious breaded chicken fillet.
Yes, the new Wendy's Tortilla Lime Crunch Chicken Sandwich has as many flavor personalities. Try it today at your Wendy's, where we are different inside and out.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 58th Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at Carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets at Carifta50.com or call 605-4051.
On your mark. Carifta is almost here, and the Live has partnered with TCL for you to capture gold at the 2023 Carifta Games. Switch to Alive and get a free TCL 30 Plus or TCL 30 SE on select Alive postpaid plans to share pictures and videos of our Bahamian athletes as they hit the tracks to win gold. Visit your nearest Alive store or mobile van location and come gold with us at the 2023 Carifta Games.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Good like that.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Stephen Hanna. Stephen Hanna, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Happy 242 Day to you, sir.
Right. I feel like we should have like an official greeting.
For 242 Day?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to do? Like 242 to you and that kind of thing?
Don't
No,
ever
okay.
do that.
Huh?
I don't know. Something more organic. You know? You know, like something super beam. I don't know.
Work it out. We'll do it in time for next year.
Okay. Or today. You know?
Or today, maybe before the end of the show. Let's do it. So as we've been talking about this for a while, a long time, and and almost 2 years, and this is the one with the momentum, and hopefully it'll build from here. And so we're very excited about today. We've got on our colors. I like your shirt, sir. It's a black shirt with a gold coat of arms. Yeah, that's cool.
I want you to know, I was going to put on a green shirt with red and yellow writing on it, and then I was like,
the sense hit you.
No, I was like, it's a white.
You were going to intentionally do that?
No, it was clean. It was a clean shirt.
So calmer heads prevailed. Okay, that's good. Good, you made a wise choice today. Thank you very much. And I've got on my colors, and we've got a flag here in the studio, and we hope all of you getting dressed right now remember to put on your flag colors and represent. Pull out those flags, do something Bahamian, have a Bahamian breakfast, have lunch, and I don't know, whatever you want. Bahamian. Dinner too.
I was waiting to see what 242 things you're bringing, and like if you were giving away 242 things to the first.
Me personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the station.
And we've got people took up the we gave the suggestions there, and people are doing some specials today. We'll tell you about them a little bit later in the show. So we're very Very pleased about this. Solo has a song, a new song, and he's going to debut it right here this morning. Looking forward to that. And later we're going to talk about in business, just, your marketing, your public relations, your advertising, the importance of Bahamian voices and Bahamian stories in your advertising. Is it important? Do Bahamians care? Do you feel a certain type of way when somebody does that, as opposed to maybe foreign voices?
I detest it every time I hear a the script is American, the voice is American. And you know what I really don't like? It's like when I hear somebody in a Trinidadian voice,
yikes,
telling me to give my money to a bank.
Okay. You got some issues. Okay, but I hear you. I understand.
No, it's because it's very weird. It's like, we're the Bahamian Bank. Are you? And it's like, hooray, Foster's, Bahamian for beer.
Oh,
like,
Lord.
That's what it sounds like.
All right. So that's going to be the conversation coming up this morning. So we got a lot to get to. We do want to tell you a little bit about what's in the news. So even though we're trying to keep things positive this morning, but a couple of the things we want to get to, let's do that right now with what's in the news. Yes, and people are telling us that the schools are doing it too, the ones that are open. Not quite a few are on midterm, but the ones that are open are doing special things for 242 Day today, and that is beautiful. That is great. And I was talking to an educator, a veteran educator this week, or was it last week, and she was saying, this is really fantastic because at Independence, the schools are closed. It's the summer, so you don't really get a chance.
Closed.
Yeah. So this is one time when they'll be able to do something. And so February 24th, folks.
Right. And I feel like midterm changes, right? Because midterm is based on, is it also based on the lunar cycle? like Easter?
I don't know.
I feel like midterm isn't the same time every year.
Right, maybe not.
It's like, is it like the last Wednesday? It can't be the last Wednesday in February. No, the second Wednesday in February? I don't even know.
No idea.
No one will ever know.
But some were closed last week, some were closed this week.
Right.
So, and next year it's on a Saturday. So right, it might be even better. So Friday you could do some stuff at work, and then Saturday have some, something very special.
No, I mean you could have an actual day. Like you go to concerts, you could spend.
Yeah.
You could go on an outing. It can be an entire thing.
So start planning now, folks. Start planning now for 242 Day next year. Okay, in the news, the government is planning a permanent expansion to the price control list. The restrictions, is it restrictions? Whatever was put in place is supposed to expire in April, and the National Security Minister says they're going to be looking between now and then at what's working and determine whether it needs to be, some of these things need to be added to the list permanently. So that's going to be interesting. The big headline in the National Guardian, though, PM changes tone to suit his audience. I don't think that's a surprise, but I don't know if we should say it out loud. I don't know. On Monday we said that, right? We said
to him or to
anybody. If you are a representative of the government or the Davis administration, let us assume that, which we were assuming. So Monday after the national address, we said, well, this is very different from what he said on Friday. The CARICOM, I guess, speaking to the crowd, right?
You got to know your audience.
You have to know your audience. But don't say that as the policy.
What?
That's what we do. We speak to the audience.
Yeah, but it's true, though.
It is true, but should you say it?
You want to lie?
You say, well, since there's a bunch of Americans in here, I'm going to tell you that our favorite food is hamburgers. I mean, what?
You mean like how people are always like, I love conch fritters. Conch salad?
You need to stop.
What?
What is wrong with you?
Nothing.
You need to stop.
I'm just saying.
That's an inside.
People, it's
inside. It's kind of inside. A Guardian inside joke.
The whole point
listeners,
is people will quote depending on who they think.
Not on 2 for 2 days, Stephen Hanna.
What?
Don't do that.
I just say
Don't be
more,
mean.
there's more to behemoths than Kung Salad and Kung Fritters. With that said,
Let's read this story. All right. So, our Jared Higgs writing that our press secretary in the office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, defended the Prime Minister's change in tone on how his government intends to deal with residents living in shantytowns, saying the Prime Minister is, quote, eloquent and smart enough to know which tone to present based on his audience. As you will recall, on Sunday during the national address, the Prime Minister had a hardline tone, giving residents notice that they would need to find alternative housing. But on Friday, just 2 days earlier, at the 44th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, the Prime Minister suggested the government was very concerned about evicting shantytown residents and leaving them homeless.
the two things can be true.
That is true. That is true. And basically Watson is saying that as well. Watson was asked about the Prime Minister's change and which tone people should accept. Watson said, quote, you take both. His message has never changed in both. The tones are different, which signals the attribute of a good leader. You have to know when and where and how to say certain messages. The Prime Minister on Friday was among CARICOM leaders speaking to the world. There is a tone that's important as a diplomatic leader in a democratic nation. When he is talking to his people, specifically to actions he's about to take, there is a different tone. This has been part of the problem, right? This is what people say, the things that you say amongst us and to us. But so calm and not just him. I'm not picking on the Prime Minister. I'm just saying this is how we are, and it's very concerning that you will say any manner of things and call people all manner of names amongst your own, but when we go abroad,
you don't.
It's absolutely don't.
Right. That's code switching.
Yeah, sure.
What do you want him to say?
I mean, we know it. You don't have to tell us this. Don't say it like this.
I didn't think it's like during the national address, I didn't listen to it. But I assumed that it wasn't to reiterate the thing that we already knew, because we already know that there's a housing crisis, and we already know that is part of the issue. All right, and so him coming and saying that as well wasn't what people were tuning in to hear. People were tuning in to hear, oh, are y'all going to do anything now that the injunction has been lifted?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the angle they took it from. Right. So that was the angle they took it from. Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I would have taken it from the housing angle 100%, because you address that.
At which time? Friday or
every
Sunday?
Every time, because that's the real main issue. But then again, I'm a horrible person. So let me tell you something. If I was the Prime Minister,
equally challenging issues.
Here's the reason why. If I was the Prime Minister, I'd be the Prime Minister for 4 years. I wouldn't even make it through the full term. All right? They would violently remove me from office because the amount of changes and feelings that would be hurt. Mm-hmm. People would violently remove me from office.
In this system, you wouldn't even make it to run as an MP.
Right, yeah, of course. It's too late for me. I needed to start lying like 20 years ago.
Oh, boy.
But the whole point is, to make these things happen, feelings have to get hurt, right? All those people who own all those who have been leased or given property by the government to farm, take them all back. Mm-hmm. Take every single one back, right? And if they start sending voice notes with, oh, this private, this and that, I know I ain't getting back in. So guess what? It don't matter, King.
Yeah, people like you don't run for office, though.
Exactly.
That's the reason. That mentality. Right, they're in for the long haul.
Like, nah, bro. I here for a good time, not a long time. When I finish, I got uproot so much stuff that by the time whoever else come, they ain't gonna be able to. You know Thomas Sincana?
These folks want to be in for 75 years.
Yeah, that's great. So there's this guy, I can't even remember the name of the African country. He was president of the country for 3 years in the 60s. I think one of the European countries helped to overthrow him and get him assassinated. In the 3 years that he did in the 60s, all of the stuff that he did, like more than half of them still exists. because he changed the country so drastically in 3 years. They couldn't take it back to how it was.
Nice.
That's the level that you have to be.
I agree.
And also, Bahamians guys complain. That's our native tongue.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe that's what the greeting should be. Like, you see each other and you say, on 242, you say, this, mother effing government. I was trying to figure out the nicest way to say it.
That's not.
This darn government? Is that better?
No, not today. Tomorrow. There'll be time for that tomorrow.
That's
not today.
That's what you
not
do
today.
On 2-4.
It's a 2-4 day. Everything's fine. Right, 2-5 day. Oh boy. Anyway, today it's beautiful. Anyway, what?
That's how Bahamians greet each other.
Yeah. Well, Watson said yesterday, quote, the Prime Minister is very eloquent and smart enough to know when it is the right tone to present the right message for the right image for our country. It's a lesson so many other people can take a lesson from. Okay, and take out a page of the Prime Minister's book that diplomacy is important. It doesn't mean that you renege on your promise. It doesn't mean that you renege on what it is you want to do. It just means that you are eloquent enough to know how to present the information so that it's not offensive. And it does not appear as though you are taking something that will create a problem for the nation later on. Prime Minister's message has not changed. He's moving in. He's doing the right thing for the Bahamian people. He's following the laws, and you will find that from time to time his tone will change depending on the audience he's speaking to, but his message won't change. Okay. Let's get your reaction to that. What do you make of that? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Would you have said that, though, Stephen? It is one thing for it to be the case, and you can make a case for doing it like this, but would you have said this publicly? I would have just stopped at which tone should we take and say we can take both. The message has never changed, and both things can be true. Right. Bam, end of that.
Yeah.
Not like, he speaks to this, and when he's here, he's trying to be inoffensive, but here,
You're not the press secretary, so.
But yeah, so I guess you would do the same thing I'm saying.
Yeah, no, right.
Huh?
I mean, there's no reason to.
Why would you say this?
Yeah,
this is very. Now you have to wonder, wait, was he only saying this because that person was in the crowd? And so which one? Now you have to keep guessing and look around the audience. They've got to keep the cameras on the audience so we can see who's there. Say,
to see who's nodding?
Yeah, and who? Who say, oh, that's why he said
That's
that.
not the problem you need to worry about. You need to worry about the person who's lip syncing along with it, like while he's talking, and like, and we will, yes. No, it's not.
Very curious. Good morning, caller on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen. Happy 242 day.
Happy 242 day. Good morning.
Or as they say in the hometown, this stern.
No. Anyway,
Dwight,
how are you?
What do you call those animals that change according to the environment?
There's a bunch of them.
Humans?
Chameleons?
Chameleons.
Are they? Okay. Yeah. I mean, octopus do that too.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
And humans a lot.
Can you trust somebody like that?
Yes, it's got to be malleable.
What they call it situation ethics. You do what you think is right according to the situation. I mean, there has to be truth and one truth. You can't be vacillating. Tell us what you mean. What you would need to say, I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, leave it like that. That's my take on it. Let us know what is your position on the shanty town. Are you going to move or whatever it is? But don't show one-faced. Like the old people say, you two-faced man. You just got to state your position and let us see some action. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Very interesting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah.
It's a matter of context, though. You know, so it's like now you could argue whether or not you think that either message was good enough or where the emphasis was placed. You can argue for about all those things, but at the same time, let's not pretend as though when people downtown, every taxi driver suddenly adopts an American accent. Like Atlantis?
This isn't the same thing.
It's code switching. It's 100% code switching.
It's not the same thing.
No,
are you going to say something totally outside of what you would normally say to people?
If the
or are you
person
just going to
is an
sound
American tourist?
different? sounding different and saying something completely different. Two different things.
No, I hear what I hear what you're saying, but it's all a part of the same thing because
It's all related, sure, but
Yeah.
it's not the same.
And then come on now. You know that some people who will say certain things in front of certain people and they will not say certain things.
Yeah,
about
those
other
people we don't trust.
We don't?
No.
Because those people are everybody.
Oh, okay.
It's like when you go to a fast food place, do you want the person to talk to you like how they talk to their child? No.
You're saying the same thing again, sounding different.
No,
it's
I
one
said
thing to
talk
sound
to
more
a child.
professional and to sound, right, to have respect in your discourse, but to say something that is the opposite of the thing that you would say to your own people is...
No, that's the question. If it's the opposite, then that's a whole different matter. But if it's simply the emphasis is placed on a different part, that's a different thing.
We didn't hear in the national address anything about concern about homelessness. That was not mentioned. It was, if you're here illegally, get out. If you are here, if you have documentation and you're working, you need to find a place to live, or your employer needs to find a place to live, right? And if you're Bahamian, let's talk. Right? That's what we heard. Not that we are about to have a crisis of homelessness and we need to be very careful with the way we move. And people might have appreciated him saying that on Sunday night too.
No, that's because once again, that's my position. My position is like, we could say whatever we want to say at the end of the day, unless everybody's been lying for the past whatever many years, right? The majority of these people have legal right to be within the country. All right? I'm saying, isn't that what the report say? Now, if the report is a lie or incorrect, then we have a different issue that we need to add on to this issue. But let's assume that the report is correct. If the majority of people either are legally or are Bahamian, you cannot not address that issue.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what I would have liked to hear. And once again, I didn't listen to the address.
Nor did you listen on Monday when we replayed a good portion of it on Morning Blood? Wow. Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, both of you. Well, Dwight, you got me. I'm stiffening my yellow shirt, my gold shirt. I probably won't be able to move my hands today because I'm going to really represent what you're pushing with, the 242. I like the idea, and I think it's one that unifies us. And anybody who wants to really be a Bahamian should be listening to you and dress accordingly.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to use this front room I have here. I'm going to color it up just for you, 242. I got you. I appreciate this, and I hope the movement continues and grow. All right?
Yes.
Good idea. Excellent idea.
Indeed. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, secondly, Dwight, we have a thing in our Bahamian colloquial phrase. It ain't what you do, but it's how you do it. At the end of the day, the judge is going to send you to jail or set you free for what you do. No matter how you do it, it boils down to what you do. And if you're going to say to me in a special tone one thing because you're talking to the ACS crew, and then you speak to the Christians and you go, you're a liar.
No.
That's it. You're not a liar.
You're not a liar.
You're just a good presenter. You could present things well for the audience you're talking to.
Eloquent and smart.
Thank you. I'm glad you helped me with those words. Thank you so much.
One second.
Thank you very much. Okay.
At the risk of sounding pedantic, why are you using those words
Hmm?
as though they're
I'm
pejoratives?
I'm just quoting.
The tone that you said. It was very dismissive.
Was it?
Yeah, you're like eloquent and smart.
It's a good thing. I strive to be that every day.
Yeah, but that's not how the majority of callers. The majority of callers feel like.
How can you speak for the majority, sir?
Well, how can anyone? How can anyone? But
let's hear what this caller has to say. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen.
Hi.
Critical thinker.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think he misspoke. Actually, Clint Watson misspoke. The word wasn't diplomacy; it was duplicitous. But the best way for the Prime Minister to overcome this is to put it down in writing, what he's going to do, how he's going to do it, and when he's going to do it, and the solutions that he has to proper to negate any negativity that comes out from his action. That's what proper policy does. But it somehow seems like for almost 30 plus years that I'm aware that we just simply go by verbal policy. And the thing about policy is it changes each time the minister speaks. And so it simply says that we have no plan. And it says those who fail the plan to fail.
And remember now, nobody has rebuked the PLP chairman's statement about how we need more people because we don't have enough workers. We have a worker shortage, and so we need as many people. We need many more people from the South and the East to come to help us with the worker shortage because of the Bahamian baby shortage. So, we've heard three very strange things over the past few days.
But that tells you that we should just basically make preparations to make sure that the incoming administration has a strategy by observation of the mistakes that this one will make and the cumulative mistakes we have made over the years.
They always have.
One of the most important things is that the minister there spoke, and this minister speakers, they have yet to speak concerning the actual impact and growth of the economy. When you begin to move people around and they have expenses, how they will look to pay for these expenses without economic growth to incorporate them in it. And so we've basically had jobless growth when you can look at the fact that the economy hasn't shrank to any significant way from the GDP standpoint. But economies, or people's personal economies, are taking a huge beating. So, but again, maybe they could think it into existence. We're like the only people in the world I know who says we're going to win the lottery today, but we can buy a ticket tomorrow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot. Let's read some of your text messages before we take a break. And this texter says here, okay. Good morning, Dwight. Happy 242 Day to you and to Guardian Radio. So the word of the day appears to be duplicitous. I believe that was what Clint Watson and Mr. Davis were trying to say. It's a big one, though, but seems to directly apply to the selectively quiet opposition as well. We're really in trouble when the government in your face telling you they say different things to different people. That's what concerns me. I mean, it's one thing to do it, but to just come out and say that's who he is on this 242 day.
You want me to talk
that's who he is. So
do you want me to talk to the callers the way that you want me to tell them what I would ordinarily tell a person? Because some of these callers.
No, don't do that.
Y'all don't see Dwight, but like half the time when people call and Dwight is
doing this?
Dwight is flailing on the other side of the table like, no. Don't say that.
Why would you even say this?
I'm just saying it's not
necessary to say that.
It's
you just say, Clint Watson, you don't need to say these things. People can hear my voice when I'm annoyed.
If I want another thing I couldn't be, I'd be the press secretary for one day. I'd walk out.
I think you'd be in the middle of a press conference.
I would suck
they get you out of there.
My teeth in the middle of it.
Get one question this guy has.
I already answer you. I don't know about you. You got next question.
You'd be the one to say, let's step outside to the reporter.
Well, you think he's mine now? Okay.
Wow. Okay. You need help, sir. That's all this means, right? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
As they dragging me out.
And they'll say what I have to say sometimes. Kill his mic. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're gonna switch the tone. Hey! When we come back, we're going to be all happy and positive and talking about the wonderful things about the Bahamas on this 242 day when we get back. Stay with us.
I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas. It's the place you vacation. Slime domino every occasion. If I did it over, I wouldn't change it. 'Cause this is what I love.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I mean, they were used to do it, but we've continued.
If you go to places like Cat Island where they have goat heads
outside the country.
I'm talking about they do the same thing in some of the more Bahamian islands, right?
That's what I'm saying.
New Providence.
I'm saying outside of the country.
Yes.
Do they still do these things that we've continued?
Yes.
You sure? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, let's read these really quickly. We'll pick this up on the other side.
They just haven't forged their whole identity around it.
Wow. Yeah. This person says that changing your tone on a matter is nothing to do with a good leader, but it shows a good flammer who's afraid to make tough decisions and looking for popularity and likes. Oh, boy. As usual, Stephen said he will change all types of things. He forgot people are threatening people now, I think they're trying to say. So what? You can't be afraid. Right? Right, Stephen?
what?
Don't be afraid. If that's what they do. That's what they
how
do.
we
When
do it.
people don't like what you're doing, they're always threatening you.
Ever since
But you have to take it seriously. I'm not saying you don't take it seriously, but you do have to take it seriously. Yeah. This administration really thinks we're stupid. No worries. We will show them how stupid we are on Election Day. Okay. We have a two-faced leader. Happy 242 Day. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This one says that this is not a popularity contest. This is our future. Be a man while believe your convictions. Either you have convictions or you don't, and follow through. Pandering to us, Bahamians. Suck my teeth. I just texted Mia Motley, the Prime Minister's new soundbite, along with the press secretary's explanation, and she texted me back saying this can't be true. Well, you need to stop being untruthful too, texter. But interesting what you're saying. But anyway, okay. Stephen likes to harp on this red herring housing issue. What? Which is an easy fix. Deport all the illegals, put work permits on hold for 5 years, and make all employers house who they bring in, and immediately
And what about the
so-called
Bahamians?
and immediately fix the so-called housing issue. But
What
if
about
you do
Bahamians?
that, then there's no excuse, and we all know we need one
No,
when it
but-
comes to this group.
Sorry, to the taxer, all right? What about me? Like, I don't fall into none of the categories that you're talking about. What about me? Who gonna help me in the house? You lying.
It's very hard. No,
Deontay,
why are you so mean?
because I don't have to fix
But-
my tune. I can talk to
No,
them
no,
or
no, you
talk
do.
to
On
anybody
Guardian
that's not
Radio,
in
you
the
need to
Why you
speak to
come from
people.
around my window?
Speak to
Come from
people.
around my window, black people.
Let's turn off his mic there. Okay, we're gonna be back. We'll have a new tone, Stephen, when we come back. Stay with us.
Come on, sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian. Come on, sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian citizen. 242 resident. Native
This
son
is
of
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. You can text us 422-4796 on the Guardian text line powered by BTC. And tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. And now at 8:25, it is time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Grosvenor Medical Center. Here is what's happening. Another hot day in store, but pleasant conditions. We're looking at summer-like temperatures. A bit of a breeze, but high pressure is dominating the weather across the country. Beachgoers in southeast Bahamas, though, should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents. For all areas today, mostly sunny, very warm, locally breezy, with a stray shower or two possible, becoming fair and mild tonight. Small craft caution remains in effect for the southeast Bahamas. Temperatures getting up to around the mid-80s, maybe about 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will continue to be the dominant weather feature across the country throughout the weekend. So for Saturday, mostly sunny, very warm, a bit breezy, with a few stray showers possible. Sunday, sunny and very warm. That's your Morning Blend weather check. Brought to you by Grosvenor Medical Center. Screening for colorectal cancer should begin at the age of 45. Reduce your risk for colon cancer and schedule your colonoscopy today at reduced prices for the months of March and April at the office of Dr. Harold Munnings. Located next to the Princess Margaret Hospital, they're offering an even lower price for those who present their NHI cards. Give them a call, 328-5550, Grosvenor Medical Center. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning. We have traffic brought to you by RBC. Mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Here is what's happening. As you said, a number of schools are closed this morning, so traffic is looking a lot better than it normally does at this time. It's closer for midterm. The big issues are on Tonic Williams Darling Highway. You've got some heavy traffic westbound to the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway, but Milo Butler Highway looking pretty good this morning, northbound. Glasson Road also looking pretty good for you, just about midway between Firedale and John F. Kennedy Drive is where you'll see the traffic issues. Got a bit of building traffic on Carmichael westbound as well to Coral Harbor Road. And Blue Hill Road, just north of Soldier Road on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. And East Street between Soldier and the roundabout with East-West Highway. Otherwise, not looking so bad out there on this 242 day. That's your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Yo, hey yo, we come a long way and we just begun. Come on, lift up the heads to the rising sun and just sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian. Come on, sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian. From the Bahamas to an Grand Islands in between. If you know you in love with the sign and cheer, come on, sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian. Come on, sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian. I am a Bahamian citizen, 242 resident, native son of the 8 Mile Rock settlement, highly intelligent, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce Papa Smurf in the element. Bahamian accent, smooth and so elegant. Using in a rap song to make it sound eloquent. Any place other than this is irrelevant. Tropical paradise, beauty is evident. This goes out to the Bahamian government, leaders of the country, members of parliament. Each and every settlement needs a man. If you ain't encouraged, then this is encouragement. We are in a country that's healthy and prominent. Visitors visit and they leave with astonishment, only to return again. I am very confident. I am sure as I is a Bahamian. Yo, we come a long way and we just begun. Come on, lift up the heads to the rising sun and just sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian. Come on, sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian. From the Bahamas to an Grand Islands in between. If you know you in love with the sign and cheer, come on, sing it out loud. I am a Bahamian. Come on, sing it out loud.
Yeah,
I am a Bahamian.
welcome to Freeport, home of the element.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna. It is 242 Day, and we are celebrating, and we hope you all are as well. And we've got a full studio. We've got some great special guests, and we've got a lot going on this morning. And very pleased. Yes, surprise guests too.
They turned on my mic back? I wasn't sure if they turned my mic back on.
Because you're going to behave now, right?
Sure,
yes.
okay,
but we're very pleased as we celebrate because we have to thank them for making this happen. And for turning this into what it is this year, and for Excellency Leslie Miller Bryce and P.S. Jack Thompson from the Independent Secretariat. Great to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's 242 Day.
242
Good
Day.
morning.
We're all in our Bahamian colors here. We also have Solo with us. Solo, good morning, sir. Great to see you.
It's the Bahamian morning.
And we're going to premiere his new 242 Day song in just a moment, so everybody stay tuned for that. But Leslie Miller Bryce and Jack Thompson, great to have you with us. It was when was that? Was it around Independence? Or when the
like maybe May.
yeah, right. When I mentioned to you that how we've been trying to get people to celebrate February 24th.
Yes.
As 242 Day every year.
Yes.
Because this is uniquely us. Nobody else can claim this.
Correct.
And then you said, tell us what you said.
Yes, well, I said it's a wonderful idea. Why not?
Yeah.
And that's something from we first began it. We said that we would listen.
Mm-hmm.
We would listen to what the Bahamian public is saying. And you said it, and we listened. We listened, and we're here this morning celebrating 242 Day.
All in our colors?
Yes,
everybody?
all in our colors. And I just want to say thank you so much to our Prime Minister for proclaiming
Yes,
it.
that was very exciting.
242 Day. How exciting is that?
That's wonderful.
We're proud.
Yeah.
We're very, very proud.
Yeah. And people have taken up the baton and they are running with it. We've seen stores, companies are have announced specials, and schools are doing things today, the ones that are open. And people are saying their offices, they were told, yeah, you wear the colors, do whatever it takes. And so this is going to be a wonderful day.
It's going to be a wonderful day. We're excited. Thank you again for having us. And good morning, Bahamas. And to those even beyond the borders, whoever listening to us right now. We're excited. We think this is a good way to kind of get involved into our activities, get our activities up and running. We had some other things planned, but we know that we want to keep it right now. We are in Lent, and but this is a good, powerful way to get started.
Yeah.
And we're excited about it.
Yeah.
We are, yeah.
So I see that the ministries, government departments were encouraged to do things as well. What have you heard? What are folks going to be doing today?
Well, I've asked for ministries, departments, agencies to send us their group photos, send us some videos as to why they're proud to be Bahamian. We've also sent that same information onto our schools. Let's record our school kids, our students, our young people just celebrating and saying why it is that they're proud to be Bahamian. Why do we have on our Bahamian colors today? What's the importance of us celebrating today? And so we've done that. We've done our part. We've reached out. And so we're here to celebrate. I know some people feel as though, what are we celebrating for? There's nothing to celebrate. But let me tell you, there is a lot to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Whether it's big, whether it's small, it really doesn't matter. Something that I'm truly grateful for is the amount of artists, artisans, creatives, the orange economy that we've been able to engage thus far as it relates to us celebrating and on our road to 50. And so there's a lot to be thankful for. You just got to find it. Just find it. It could be something so small and unique that it's only celebrated here in our country, but I can tell you there is a reason for us to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Have you taken up any of the 2 for a 2-day challenges?
Not as yet, but listen, before
I mean,
the end of the day. Before the end of the
what
day.
Steven is doing?
I invite you because we're doing like a push-up challenge.
Oh, you are? Oh, well, I want to see that. I don't want to be a part of it, but I definitely.
I'm just recording it.
So you haven't done any? Not for this challenge?
Not for this challenge. We're trying to see how many push-ups you could do for your country.
But you had somebody who did up to, what was it, 40?
No.
That was impressive.
Did you? There's
more?
a guy who's like, I feel like he's in his 50s. He did 50.
Oh, that's really something else.
But that's not the top number.
But
I'll release the video of the top number today.
But in total, people have done collectively more than 242, right?
Yes. Yeah. We stopped at 468.
Oh,
my
wow, you
goodness.
surpassed the number.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, if you want, we would love to see. We tag Celebrate Bahamas in it.
Well, definitely. Once you tag us, Celebrate Bahamas on Instagram and on Facebook, you can guarantee that it's going to be posted today.
And we look forward to seeing
You're going to see
you doing your 24 push-ups.
How about jumping jacks?
It's a push-up challenge.
What about 2.42 push-ups? Can we do that?
What is 0.42 push-ups?
You barely get up. Barely, halfway up.
I'm going to take that challenge.
Yeah.
All right. We look forward to seeing it.
We had our friends from the Consumer Protection Commission. They are going to be feeding 242 people at the Salvation Army today. Wow. And so that's amazing. And we've got hey, this is cool. Kalik 700.
They
doing.
do the number.
We were saying they should sell the beers 2 for 2, but they're doing. It's close enough. 3 for 5.
Yeah, 3 for 5 is a dope.
That's pretty good. Yeah. And we saw some others. You can tell us, folks, what you're doing. I saw this one last night. Let me read this. M-Tech, they're saying if you are wearing Independence colors or the flag colors, you get 5% off on wearing each color of the Bahamas. I'm not sure what they do exactly, but you get
so that's 15% if you're wearing the whole flag.
I wonder. It sounds like it. So that's pretty good.
Need to clarify. Okay.
Yeah. Well, look at that. All right. So tell us what you're doing. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, we got Solo. Solo, I came to you pretty late. I said, hey, 2 for 2 days coming up.
Almost late.
It was late, but we need a song. I know you work fast, so tell us about this and your involvement in it.
Well, my involvement most definitely is music.
coming up with the song is like zero. I mean, it's Bahamian. So after you give me the information, then the hardest part, like I always say, is the music. Once you find the music, then everything is clockwork from there.
Yeah, wow.
And then that's a wrap.
Okay, all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to premiere Solo's 242 Day song live right here on Morning Blend. And so we're looking forward to that. That's coming up right after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9 on 242 Day. Stay with us, folks.
You should know I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas. It's the place you vacation. Slime domino every occasion. If I did it over, I wouldn't change it. It's what I love.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Good like that.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 58th Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at Carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets@Carifta50.com or call 605-1.
Well, look at Donald, little man, all grown up talking, but he making big money now. He finally gets some sense and enrolled in the BTVI Free Smart Start initiative. Only a few short weeks and he get construction certificate. He getting all kind of job now. All these boys, even them set on the family island, can choose from auto mechanics, beauty, construction, or fashion and get a Smart Start too. Call 502-6300 or email smartstart@btvi.edu.bs today.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
KB and Sting, coming with the Bohemian team. Come on. Woo! Oh, yeah. Yes. I's a Bohemian. Hair and born and bred. I don't want to live nowhere else, even when I dead. I's a Bahamian, and I always, if you want me there by 9, better tell me come 8. See, I's a Bahamian.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna. We've got a full studio as we celebrate 242 Day. Want to hear from you, and we're going to be hearing Solo's song in just a moment. We're drawing it out, so get the anticipation up. We've got Leslie Miller Bryce with us. We've got Jack Thompson. We've got Solo with us. And we've got your calls coming in telling us how you are celebrating 242 Day. We want to hear from you. You can call in 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, and text us, 422-479. So we've got a few people saying it should be a holiday. We'll work on that eventually, right? But not right now. Just celebrate and enjoy the day. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning. This is North Carolina.
Hi,
celebrating 242.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So I want to be honest. Hello to all. Good morning to all in the studio. Never saw Solo before, so glad to see his face. Full of, but I always heard in the song.
Awesome.
But I'm not. I'm going to wear my colors today. But I'm actually I have like 2 or 3 meetings today, so I really can't do anything out of the ordinary. Okay. But next week, Friday, I'm inviting Bahamian students at my house, and we're going to be doing a conch-a-thon. I have a lot of conchs. I'm going to do some conch salad, some conch fritters, some cracked conch. I have one of my friends cook some conch and rice. I'll throw in some guava dust. So I'm inviting all of my Bahamian students who are in the North Carolina area. Well, there's only about 6 or 7 I've invited. And we're going to enjoy next week, Friday. Also, my office has always been plotted. I moved into a new home a couple months ago, and my office has always been in my Bahamian colors. I have a big Bahamian flag. I have a aquamarine desk. I have a black desk. No, I have a aquamarine shelf. I have a black desk. Wow. I have a gold shelf. I have some. So my office is a Bahamian office, and anytime I tell people come over, bring something so I can put in my office. I had some friends who bought me a Bahamian book and that sort of thing. So in there is really clouded. I just want to say before I go, Dwight, let me say this. I want to say good morning to my mom. I never always say good morning to her, Shirley Madeline Murphy. Happy 242 day. And I also want to say hello to Brother K. So Brother K is a gentleman who goes to my church back home at Bible Truth Ministries. There on with Reverend Ellison Greenslade. And this guy dresses. He listens to you every morning, Dwight. Oh, wow. Every morning. I'm telling you now, when I was home 2 weeks ago, he said, I listen to you on the radio all the time. I said, me? He said, yes, he listens to Dwight and he listens to everybody. And this guy dresses in a 3-piece suit every Sunday, and he sits right up front. So I want to say hello and happy 242 day to you, Brother K, and I love all of my family. Continue to do a good job, and I'll be celebrating over here. I'm coming home. Leslie, I'm coming home. And great. So I'll be home during that time. Thank you so much.
This is one celebration you don't want to miss. And good morning all the way in North Carolina.
Yes.
Good morning.
Excellent stuff. Wow. And Brother K, thanks for the support. All right. Keep calling. This person says here, Kids Organic Farm will be donating 24 eggs to 4 charities. We will send pics to BahamasIndependence@gmail.com. Yeah. This only can be done this weekend. So, hey,
that's like donating gold right now.
Oh, boy. Right? This person says here, great work pushing 242 day. Jimmy's is doing 2 for 2 Bush Crack Light beers. Well, look at that. There you go. Okay, Jimmy's. See? It's stepping it up. Right. Yeah, now let's see. Who else can we get to one up them?
Who's the real estate company?
24 for 2. 24 for 2.
Giving out houses for $24.
Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
A pleasant good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
242.
Hey.
Leslie, that's my cousin from Taylor Street.
Yes, that's me from Taylor Street.
This is Sparky, your cousin.
Hey, Sparky.
Now, how you doing in that studio?
We're doing very well, Sparky. How are you celebrating 242
Day? I got my colors, but I can't do too much. I got one thing they call gout in my knee, so I try to stay off my knee today. But anyway, to the Bahamian people out there, 242, let's do it like a boss. And I want to say one thing, Dwight, you know I like to come from left field sometimes.
Oh, boy.
Come on, man, be easy now.
Okay.
Any Chinese in the studio?
You talking about food,
do we have
or what are
anybody
you talking
other than Bahamians out here? Any Chinese Bahamians celebrating?
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, they celebrating behind the counter.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully they will do some very good specials today as well, Sparky. Thanks a lot for that. My goodness. Okay. I think we're ready. We're ready for Solo's song. Yeah, his brand new song for 242 Day. We're gonna play this all day long. You have to. I think you have the date in there, so you got to tweak that for next year.
I can
Yeah.
tweak it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. The World's new
242
song.
Day.
Take a listen.
Be a part of 242 Day. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. Your Bahamian colors, be patriotic, cause we bout to get loose. Someone say how loose? Loose like Bahamian goose. February the 24th, 2023. Music, food, and entertainment happening this Friday. It's gonna be 10 beautiful colors displayed by beautiful people. Proud to be a Bahamian in love and service again, one people. Officially, we'll represent in every way. February the 24th is 242 Day. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. Celebrate with us on the 24th of February, this Friday, 242 Day.
That is very catchy. I love it.
stuff.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Solo.
Yes.
And again, we're gonna be playing that all day today. Thank you. Somebody's asking, and this is a great gift if you're giving gifts for 242 Day. We had Christopher Davis on yesterday with his new book, and someone's asking, they said they missed where to get it. It's at Pompeii. You can get it at Pompeii House, the museum right there in Pompeii Square, folks. And it is a fantastic book indeed. All right, so I want to hear more about what you're doing today, what's going to be happening. Any special plans for you two today? What are you going to be doing?
There is something special today. We're having an Independence pop-up.
Uh-oh.
But we can't say where the location is, but you're going to spot us out and about today. We're celebrating today.
Do we need
You're
to
celebrating
do
today.
anything as the public to participate in this pop-up?
Nope. You don't have to do anything to participate in this pop-up.
Just look out.
Just look out.
All right.
Just look out for
You
us.
don't do like wearing certain like
No,
random flag.
no, you don't have to do any of
Do I
that.
get extra if I bring my passport?
No, you don't get extra.
All right, so you're not telling us where it is and when it is, but what is it? What can we expect?
It's a
Can you tell us that?
right?
Yeah, it's a surprise.
Yes.
It's
Just-
a surprise.
just know.
But the
So should we
area, I
not
can tell
eat
you
lunch?
what I can tell you is the area that we're popping up is fully decorated already.
That could be anywhere.
great.
The,
No,
the
no,
roundabout
no,
by
no,
East
no.
Street
Quite a
is
few-
fully decorated last night. Oh, is that
Oh, see now, Stephen,
I
you
was
talk
gonna
too
take
much.
a picture
You
of
talk
last
too
night.
much.
I was like, because I pulled up last, like I was driving last night, and I was like, I almost messaged Dwight, be like, did they do this for you? You must be a real special.
For us.
Right. They put up these flags for you. It was like, I'm like, so my bad. I apologize.
Okay. All right.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere.
At any time.
At
So
any time.
are you going to wait there all day?
Not
All right.
necessarily East Street. You know?
Jack Thompson, what are you doing today?
No, we our staff at the Secretariat, we have a special thing planned for today. I'm going to say it like that. But I'm really impressed by what I'm hearing, the business community, the work places, I mean, the private business, in terms of what they're selling, their items. This is fantastic. And we're going to build on this for next year, I can tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm already encouraged by what you've shared with us so far this morning. I said during the break that this is an opportunity for us to celebrate who we are as a people. It is an opportunity for us to just give God thanks for being in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Oftentimes I think about, I say, Jack, you could have been anywhere in war-torn countries. But look at us in the Bahamas. You know, people often ask us, where do you go for vacation? Because this is the paradise, you know. So we have a lot to be thankful for our country and for what the blessings that we continue to receive. And so I'm just excited that the Bahamas is now, everyone, we're coming alive. We're getting there. We're feeling it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been talking about this show and other shows. We've been talking about ways to celebrate today. And Aaron Green on the Clock had some great ideas. And Stephen had some great ones a few weeks ago. And we're encouraging all the creatives to keep writing music. We need a lot more for Independence Day, right?
Well, you know what? I wish that we'd had time to do it because, I mean, I didn't. I'm busy working on my secret 50th anniversary project.
Oh,
I'll reveal
okay.
it. I'll reveal it next week, Friday.
Oh, really?
I don't want to overshadow 242 Day, but it'd be really nice if like we'd had an opportunity to like really tie it into like charitable stuff because I could see when I was listening to Aaron yesterday and it's like it would be cool if you had people like Sawyer Boy and Chiquay. We go out, you have exactly 24.2 minutes or whatever variation of it to beg for as much money for the charity of your choice, right? Because then like that way you kind of fold in like both the community aspect and also like this competitive thing and like that would have been a cool thing that we could have done. So we'll save that for next year.
For next year, yeah.
For next year when we have more time.
Yeah.
You know,
But I can tell you, this is just the start. This is just the starting thing that we have planned for the rest of the year. There's going to be lots and lots and lots of opportunities for persons to participate, be creative, do what we can, even just to give back. There's going to be a National Day of Service. So maybe on that National Day of Service, they can decide we're going to collect $50,000 or $5,000 could be our aim. We can, let's get as much persons involved as we can. We have influencers, and so they have an obligation. You have a job, influencers.
Yeah.
Let's get out there and let's just showcase what it is that we can do and do our part to make our country better.
Yeah, wonderful. I have to ask you this: as we get closer to July, what we can expect between now and then for Independence?
Can I tell you? I know the last time that I was here. We would have said to you that our calendar would have been ready either the end of January or the end of February. I know you're going to hold me to it because I know we talked about
we had
that.
the conversation.
The calendar has been ready from November. But can I tell you, we've had to add items to the calendar in terms of what ministries are doing, agencies are doing, creatives are doing. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
But the calendar is ready. It's going to be dropped. It's going to be a fun-filled, exciting year. Not only that, this is an opportunity, like I would have stated earlier, for the creatives, for anyone in the orange economy, for businesses, for entrepreneurs. Listen, get creative. Persons are going to purchase anything that says 50. The logo is available to you. It's on our www.celebrate-bahamas.com website. Fill out your vendor form, fill out the logo form, and we would be happy to send you the logo. We don't want to hold this logo in our hand. We want entrepreneurs, businesses out there to create whatever it is that you can create.
Right.
This is our opportunity to boost our economy and do all that we can to put that economic boost out there.
All right, so people are trying to figure out their travel plans and they don't want to miss anything.
Listen,
so what
don't travel, Jan. Don't travel
at
July.
all.
I mean, where are you going? Where are you going? Where you
We
going?
need to be back by July 1st.
Listen, be back by July 1st. But I'm saying, March, the calendar is full.
Wow.
April, the calendar is full. May, June, July 1st to July 10th. You do not want to travel.
Yeah.
First of all, where are you going? We're celebrating 50.
People
This
will
is
be
not gonna
coming
happen
here.
People need to come here.
Right.
Do not leave the country.
Okay.
You need to keep it right here because this is a milestone.
So
it's a celebration.
Later in the year, if you
Later
must
in
go
the year,
away.
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe like July 29th or something, you can travel.
Right.
But not the month of
All
July.
right, so you've been put on notice, folks. This is what's happening. This is the place to be for at least the next 6 months. All right, so some more messages as we get ready to get ready for the news. This person says here, oh boy, okay, that's more negativity there. Maybe this caller is a little more positive. Let's see if we can take that call. What are you going to be doing for 242 Day, caller? Are you there?
Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to you again.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, I'm calling all the way from Cat Island.
Excellent.
You know us, man. You know when it comes to Bahamian thing, that we 100% agree with everything what you guys are putting together. So what me and the guys are going to do later on after we done knock off, you're going to have a 242 grill out.
That's beautiful. You did catch the flight down there.
Seafood and stuff like that. If you just been waving our flag and we paying our rake and scrape, live rake and scrape in the backyard. 242 rake and scrape.
Okay.
You might be loving it. You guys enjoy. Take care.
That is excellent. That sounds like a lot of fun. Post the pictures. We all want to see and hear that.
I'm working the rake and scrape, man. We got the majority of the behaving out of it, but we want to get out of it. Behaving thing is that's our thing. We 100% back in it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That's great stuff.
I just got a message from Chef Wayne Monker at Mother Free. I'm saying Mother Freeze. At Mother Freeze, they're going to be giving away free dilly ice cream.
Oh,
free dilly ice cream at Mother Freeze. Wait.
So we can leave to cut the show early and then go. All right, so where are they?
They are out west.
Mm-hmm.
You know where where Fresh Market is?
Yes.
I forget what they always call it. Is that called? Oh God.
Where Fresh Market is?
That's
Old
Fort Bay.
Center.
The Old Fort Bay Shopping Center. So they're free dilly ice cream.
Free, just everybody?
Well, while supplies
last.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, that's
I'd like to
amazing.
get a taste of that.
Wow.
Chili ice cream?
That's pretty cool.
sounds
Start driving now.
That's pretty cool.
Shut
All
off
right.
now.
So people asking for the website one more time. Leslie Miller.
So the website is www.celebrate-bahamas.com. Our Instagram page and Facebook is Celebrate Bahamas, and there's lots of information on there. Log in, check us out, send us your images, send us your videos today as to why you're proud to be Bahamian. Take photos with your little ones while in your cars driving. Do anything that you can do. Send us the images, and we can guarantee you that you're going to see yourself on our social media pages today.
Excellent. More specials coming in. Someone says we're at Bahamas. We're offering 10% off any sale over $50 for 242 Day.
Woo!
We're on West Bay Street next to the new Duff and Bahama Grill. Okay. All right. So look at that. They're coming in.
Yeah.
We hear them. This is your day, your only day. You're going to get free ads on Guardian Radio. 242 Day. That's how special it is to us. So that's great stuff there. Hey, we're going to leave you right now before we take a break for news with solo song once again, 242 Day.
Wait, can he sing it live?
What? You want a
Can
little
you?
bit?
242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a beam in every way. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. To the go guy.
Wow. This is the first time he ever did a live performance in the studio. Well, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Leslie Miller Bryce, thank you so much for helping make this happen. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate Jack Thompson as well and Prime Minister Davis. And everybody, have a wonderful day. We're going to be back in just a few minutes with Morning Blend Business. We're keeping that Bahamian theme going as well. So stay tuned. 242 Day.
242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Bottom 242 Day. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. Your Bahamian colors, be patriotic, cause we bout to get loose. Someone say how loose. Loose like Bohemian Goose. February the 24th, 2023. Music, food, and entertainment happening this Friday. It's gonna be many beautiful colors displayed by beautiful people. Proud to be a Bohemian and love and service again, one people. Officially, we'll represent in every way. February the 24th is 242 Day. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bohemian in every way. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bohemian in every way. Celebrate with us on the 24th of February, this Friday, 242 Day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business Friday, February 24th, 2023. This 242 Day. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. This is Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna, and it is time for a monthly morning brand segment as we talk about your image, your marketing for your business, and today we've got a Bahamian theme to it as well, and our special guest Royanne Dean is with us. Good morning, Royanne. Happy 242 Day to you.
Hi, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, everybody. Happy 242 Day to you too. That's a little bit of a tongue twister.
242 days. Say 242 times fast.
Yeah.
Right. But so this morning we wanted to talk about Bahamian, being Bahamian in your messaging, and what difference that makes. And there's always the discussion, the controversy with Bahamian dialect in your commercials, advertising. We want to talk about the difference that makes, and whether it is really important to feature Bahamian images and branding and voices and all of that. And we hope to have your participation in this too for this segment. But Royanne, generally, what's your view on it? What do you think of it? How important is it to stress, to feature something uniquely Bahamian, or can it cloud the message you want to get across?
Essentially, what the main takeaway is from that question is that it depends on what your brand is. If your brand is, it depends on, okay. Also, it depends on how you're defining what being a Bahamian is.
Right.
Is the Bahamianness found in colloquialism? Is it found in accent? Where does that lie? Now, that may also be dictated a little bit in terms of where or how your brand is positioned. Is your brand positioned high end? Is it positioned as really accessible to everybody, meant for everybody to use? That depends on what the brand is about. However, I think if I'm understanding your question correctly, Dwight, you mean the difference between having somebody that has a Bahamian accent versus having somebody that has a British accent or a Jamaican accent.
Yeah, that's
right?
part of it. That's part of it. So that's one part I want to touch on too. Yeah. So we know here, especially with certain sectors, decisions are made outside of the country, and often we do hear commercials that originate from another part of the world.
But here's the thing: they wouldn't do it in Jamaica, and I don't mean that as like I'm not just talking about companies that have like a strong Jamaican presence. I mean, like they wouldn't. The same companies that do it in the Bahamas, they know that they cannot do it in Jamaica.
Yeah.
They know they have to re-record.
Well, so I have what may be the reason for that. Back in the day, when I was young and fun, I used to work for Heineken in the Bahamas, and I was a part of a regional team that worked with an agency Caribbean. So what happens, especially if you have a regional organization or a global organization that's making a product for a regional market, the market that is either headquartered for that region, the headquarters for that region, or the largest market, right? This is where most of the money is coming from.
Right.
That is the market where those, like in lingo, those assets, so those commercials, those ads, all of that is generated from that market, right?
Yeah, and you can understand
it's made in that market.
But does it?
So
That's
that means
understandable.
that it's probably made for the English-speaking Caribbean.
Right.
Yeah,
but
but
it doesn't hurt your image in the country.
As it should. Because
does it necessarily?
No, but here's the thing, Dwight.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
No, I think
because
go ahead. No, go ahead.
You go
no,
ahead.
I don't think it does. But at the end of the day, the point is that they make one commercial for that region. Now the balance is finding something that will apply to all of that region. And so the counterpoint is that all of these markets have their own nuances, right? But the idea is that you make an asset that can work for the markets that are the most similar. So that means that when you see people in, let's say, for example, of Kentucky commercial, right? They have to find, like, ideally, you find the range of the look of the people that will match the majority of the people in that region. You find something about the lifestyle that will work if it's shown in that ad for people that for the majority of that region. And that's just the truth of it. Market, like the Bahamas, you may not have the budget, or you may be pulled into a larger budget that goes to make a better asset.
Right.
So for regional companies or global companies, that's how that typically works. But for a company that is based in the Bahamas, headquartered in the Bahamas, et cetera, then that's a different angle.
All right, I want to get to that in a second. Let Stevie make his point.
Right,
I want
so
to get to that.
So my point to that is, right, from an economic standpoint, where it's like a profitability standpoint for the company, the company is like, okay, we don't want to spend all this extra money in a place that only has 250,000 people, right? Or we can only really get money from 250,000 people, right? I understand that. But it does have an impact because we know this. We know one of the major complaints about Cape Bahamas this is the thing. They know this is a public thing. We are categorized as a part of Latin America. So some of the content that is available for licensing reasons in the Bahamas is going to be in Spanish. People complain not that the content itself is in Spanish. They complain that the commercials are in Spanish. And they feel like this is an inferior product that we are being given, not realizing this is an international legal issue that we've been fighting for years. David Burrows has been going back and forth, and half of the English-speaking Caribbean and saying, hey, we're not a part of Latin America. Could you please, give us regular English-speaking, the channels or whatever, right? What happens is, because of the public perception of that, you now lose any sort of brand loyalty because the people look at it and like, oh, you're just doing it to make money off us. So as long as you're the only game in town, I'm with you. But the minute somebody else comes, because I feel like you never really invested in me, you really wasn't one of us, I don't have no problem jumping ship. And so while I understand what you're saying, Ryan, on one level, it is profitable to do that, but it is not in the long run. As soon as competition comes, I have no reason to side allegiance with you because you ain't really one of me.
All right, so that's a good. So, do you think the audience is that?
I have a question
woke?
though.
Is the audience that woke?
Well, the question is for the commercials that you're seeing on cable that are in Spanish, those products are not necessarily, or those brands are not necessarily.
No, I don't mean. So in this situation, the brand loyalty wouldn't be to the products of the Spanish dub versus the English dub. The loyalty would be if suddenly another company comes in and says, "Oh, we also offer television services or whatever." There's no reason for me to say, "Well, I want Stick Company or this." An Australian.
So you're speaking about the service provider and
right,
not the brands themselves that are advertising.
Right,
correct?
because what happens is the perception is now going to be that, oh, these persons aren't necessarily doing it when it isn't true.
Okay, but that goes back to what I'm asking. Do we believe the audience is that conscious of this and aware and like, I don't like these people because all their ads are by a foreigner?
I'm telling you that I've heard people say that.
But how widespread do we believe that view is?
I think it's huge. I think, and once again, this is just a matter of perception. I don't think people are sitting down and having an academic conversation about it, but they do feel you not feeling an allegiance to a company because the company just doesn't resonate with you isn't something that you just sit down and think about it. You just be like, okay, whatever. Like there are certain companies you don't think of them as Bahamian companies, even though they've been here longer than all of us have been alive.
But I would say this, Stephen. I mean, I understand what you're saying. The basis on which you select a service provider is broad, right? Now, if you're in a place where you have a lot of competition, maybe this is a little more nuanced. But I would venture to say that most of the people who are watching the channels, which channels are coming in from Latin America and which are not. And as you mentioned, this is because of licensing. Mm-hmm. We are not part of North America for some shows and some television products. Now that's a debate and something that needs to be organized on the back end. But by and large, most of the channels are coming out of the U.S. So I think for the people who are upset that because the ads or the channels, all of them are not coming out of the U.S. Well, actually, let's do this, because none of the channels, 2-3 channels are coming out of the Bahamas.
2.5.
Right. So, okay, but the thing is that most of the channels are not coming out of the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. So, where do you want it to go? Where you feel like this company is Bahamian? Because it's just that most of the channels are coming out of North America. Some of them are coming out of Canada. Some of them are coming out of the UK.
Yeah.
And then some of them are coming out of Latin America. So the channels themselves are based on the licensing, but
that's a more
argument of
complex matter.
It gets more
yeah. So let's take a little closer to intentional. Intentional choices where you have where you decide to go with the American
Bahamian voice or not.
The American marketing company as opposed to somebody right here in your country.
So we can look at this, because I think that goes to the larger idea of what makes this Bahamian, right? So if you have a local company with a local product, and you want to use a local voice, to my mind, does speaking in colloquialism make this product more Bahamian than not? If you use somebody who's speaking in just kind of standard English, right? But that goes back to what is your brand about, and how do you want people to think about it? How do you want people to feel about it? What is the level on like a premium, a highly accessible to highly exclusive scale is your brand.
But see, when you say it like that, that sounds like that foreign is better and local is mid at best.
No,
because when you say premium, when you say the premium brand, I'm not saying that's what you're trying to say. I'm saying that's what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Once again, we're talking about consumer. You can't control.
We even see that in the U.S., right, where the luxury product, the person has a British accent,
right,
and when it's something that everybody can enjoy.
Why are you saying we even say it in we even see it in the U.S. Like the U.S. is better than the Bahamas? We also see
this is a problem around the world.
That's the most direct comparison. Most of the commercials we watch are from the U.S.
Right.
So that's the most direct comparison.
No, I mean he should say not even.
But what I think that is important, especially as we talk about this on 242 Day, is that we think through like what is the notion of being Bahamian, right? So what is that narrative? Mm-hmm. And I think this is a really great time to think about this as a country, because that all trickles down to how we do our branding and our marketing just on a local level, right? So if we think from a very high level in terms of what is the destination brand Bahamas, what does that mean, right? Let's touch on the accent part. When you go into the straw market, a hotel, etc., I think before the people who work in there realize that you're a Bahamian, the accent is different, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that component of it, because this is what we think that people who come to the Bahamas want to hear and want to experience. And then when they realize that you're Bahamian, then right? Accent switches. So you could look at it from that perspective as well, but it's the whole thing of like how we present as Bahamians.
Yeah.
So I want to tie this into our, like us as a destination. So our main two industries, tourism and financial services, right? They are what we put out to the world, and that's how the world sees us. And these things are rooted in these kind of groundbreaking milestones from the 50s and the 60s. So when the tourism industry really started, well, the tourism industry was mostly established in like the 1800s, right? So, but it wasn't until the 1950s that it really took off because of the ingenuity of Sir Stafford Sands. This is when the Bahamas was really marketed to the world as a destination for the jet set, right? And this is when you see like the burgeoning growth in the tourism industry. And our tourism, Sun, Sand, Sea, this is what people know the Bahamas for. And even in like the more recent rebranding, this is the focus. So if you look at where the Ministry of Tourism, on the Ministry of Tourism's page, Bahamas.com, the things that they list as like the core of the Bahamas is like beaches, pigs, deserted islands, and undisturbed wildlife and junk canoe. So this is how I think we came to see ourselves as Bahamian. This is what we want to offer. We want to put on the show. We want to show that we have all this natural beauty. But what I want to propose today is that we look at how this is evolving over time. And I mention this in the context of this conversation because can we think about other things that we have to offer aside from sun, sand, and sea? There are lots of other countries that have sun, sand, and sea. Not all of them are as beautiful, but some of them are, right? So if we think through how we see ourselves as a destination, how we see ourselves as people, how we think about tourism, and what gets incorporated into that. And I want to put it out in this conversation to say that I see how that is evolving through art, through visual arts, through things like Shakespeare in Paradise. So there's a cultural component, I think, that can be integrated into this, in addition to junk canoe, that really helps to move this narrative forward so that people are proud to have the Bahamian accent when they are interacting with visitors. People are proud to, when you go into the hotel, you want people to hear you say "boy,"
Yeah.
Just to be proud of that. But that goes back to then being like, okay, Bahamianness doesn't need to be defined by this kind of like narrow paradigm. So I want to put that out there for thought in this conversation.
Yeah, very interesting. As you mentioned it, we use the dialect only from,
right.
But everything else.
That's a very long, complicated conversation because that has to do with linguistic rules of high and low language.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the other issue is that you don't want it to be where we equate Bahamianness solely to how a person sounds, because the problem with that becomes performative. And you know that you are equally as incensed by commercials where the person who clearly speaks standard English is like, "Yeah, bae, we go do the thing." Like, stop talking like that. That's
right.
not how, right. So, like,
exactly,
that also becomes a problem.
Yeah.
But
exactly, but it's redefining that, right? And it's making in my opinion, it's making it's providing a richer narrative that can grow and expand, because Bahamians, I think by and large, we are relatively well traveled, right? We go away, we come back, we bring these influences, and then we develop something that is unique to the Bahamas, but it's not necessarily fitting into that box that was preset, right? So, like the National Art Gallery, when you go into places like Bahama and you go to visit, you just walk through the hotel, right? You can see these things that you're in the Bahamas, and so there are components of that are there. But you can see the imagination and the creativity that also ties into how our narrative is changing. And I also want to bring into this idea of what is Bahamian. Like, let's weave into this destination brand. How do we tie in financial services to that? Right? So from how I see it, and I could be wrong, but from how I see it, it seems as though our two largest industries, tourism and financial services, they go out into the world and they do a great job of marketing those industries to the rest of the world for those audiences. But I wonder where it is in terms of an integration of those two to present one destination brand that says it for these reasons and for these reasons together. So if you think about what you see from India or Japan, when you watch those commercials, they talk about the cultural component, they talk about the workforce, the skilled labor, skilled workforce, and they talk about business. So it's all put in there to attract people to want to come there, to want to invest there. And, and that's how I see, this kind of destination brand evolving.
Mm-hmm. Let's get the audience in on this. Let's get your reaction to what we're talking about this morning. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. With the ads that we see promoting the Bahamas and the Sunshine and Sea that you see all the time, it's on and off. Sometimes you'll hear a Bahamian voice, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you rarely see a Bahamian at all in these commercials, especially. What do you make of that? What should we make of that? What does that? Boy, what do you all say? What do you see when you see that?
Oh wait, you talking to us?
Yeah, I'm
talking to the audience.
Everybody, but I want to hear from you too.
I mean, part of it is these things aren't just simply issues within the marketing department. You know what I mean? These are greater issues in general. There's a cultural issue within the Bahamas, and there's also a issue of what is the actual product, right? And so. And this goes across all industries, but in tourism specifically, part of the issue is people don't know what our tourism product is. Royanne she spoke about it, but she said it, but tourism isn't...
What do you mean don't know what the tourism product is?
No, because people, like you said, remember, we're more than sunshine and sea, right? Mm-hmm. We are.
They know what it is.
No, but that's not... But I'm saying, it doesn't feel like the hotels and even the people who work in the tourism industry necessarily know that the product is actually literally culture and history. That's all.
No, Stephen, let me tell you, I have worked in the hospitality industry. They know what it is. Trust me, they know what it is.
Yeah, I think this is about caring.
No, I don't
know.
I don't think that's it, because I hear people say all the time that we have sunshine and sea and how great our ocean is and stuff, and they think that is the tourism product, right? And if that is the tourism product, all you really have to do is just show up.
That's a personal thing, though. That person might not value the culture, and so they don't think anybody else might want to do that.
So one second, guys. Both of you guys. Well, Dwight asked what my opinion was, and before I got to my second sentence, both of you are like, "You're wrong. You're wrong." Well, then I withdraw.
Calling you out. You're just calling you out.
You can't call me out of my opinion. I didn't even get to it yet. I was going to get to my point, because the whole lie that all the resort ads look like that is because they don't think that you're the product. They think the sunshine and sea and the beach is the product. So they have to show people who look like the people who they want to come here enjoying the product.
Yeah, we get that.
Now, if the product was us, which it is, then the ads would look different and the ads would sound different. Now, for example, in Jamaica, sometimes the Jamaican people is or are, I don't know if it's plural. Anyway, are the product, right? And so some Jamaican ads, you have heavily, it's people-based.
Yeah.
You see them
lots of people in the country
doing things in Jamaica. Yeah. They're doing not just rural stuff, whatever, but because Jamaica is there for them, part of their product is the people, right? But there are other Jamaican ads where the product is you are going to be alone with a horse in the bush somewhere with this isolated beach. you don't have to worry about seeing people, right? And so it really depends on what the person who is in charge of financing the ad thinks the product is.
So that's the question, right? What do we do to get that out there that we need to be showing more of who we are in marketing and more of what the Bahamian experience is?
Right. So I think it is. So Stephen, I take your point. We have a different marketing strategy, right? Mm-hmm. So our primary strategy is based on Sansansi, and that's been what it is from, well, I guess forever. That's it. Now, the thing is with Jamaica is that Jamaica's marketing, Jamaica got a lot of global brand awareness because of Bob Marley. So people associate Jamaica with Bob Marley. Bob Marley has really reggae, and then the people that came after him. So there is already this cultural standing that Jamaica has that the Bahamas doesn't necessarily have, right? Which is why you can see that translated into how it's marketed, right? Because once you have somebody, if you show like real Jamaicans in their everyday thing, and you want to make that statement that Jamaica is the place for you to be, then you put some reggae to it, you put a Bob Marley song to it, and people like it's cool, right? You want to be in Trenchtown doing a tour, and you can do that because Jamaica has done those things. They've made the cultural component a real part of that destination brand. So,
so here's the thing, right? Yeah. Jamaica was at one point the largest English-speaking British colony, right? So, yes, Bob Marley has had
in the Caribbean.
Sorry, in the Caribbean. You're right.
Okay.
Right. The largest English-speaking British colony in the West Indies. Is that phrase better? Right.
Yes.
With that said, Bob Marley in the past century did have an influence in it. Jamaica has been a popular thing, like they existed, right? And I don't think that we should just minimize it to like, oh, because of this bit of music.
It's not minimizing it. It's not minimizing it. It's just kind of a fact because Jamaica, like from a global tourism, like cultural perspective, Bob Marley did a lot to kind of ground that as it being more than just like a destination that's in like a English speaking in the West Indies from a cultural perspective, right? So if you look at what Jamaica has done over the last decade in relation to culture and building tours that go through Trenchtown, right? Mm-hmm. Building museums and galleries that talk about the cultural part of Jamaica beyond the beaches, then a lot of this comes from the fact that there was such a high recognition of Bob Marley. This is a fact. So what I'm saying is that from the Bahamas' perspective, we do have cultural tourism because if you think through the forts, there's Fort Fincastle or Fort Charlotte, I forgot, but there's a cultural component there that it's there. I think it could be maximized more.
You say we need to highlight it more. Yes.
We need to highlight it more in terms of how we market the Bahamas because we do rely a lot on the sun and sea argument, but I do see where it is evolving and I think it could be pushed further because John Canoe is, if you look at it from a mass marketing scale, John Canoe is the biggest cultural kind of face, but we do have other things. There's a burgeoning contemporary art. There's theater, which we need to grow. Mm-hmm. And then there's the cultural tour components with the forts and Queen's Staircase.
A whole lot more to be done.
Remember the water tower? Like a lot more that we can provide as more nuance. But I'm saying adding to that nuance is also a great place to invest.
All right, we got to take a break.
For these financial services, yeah.
Got to take a break. We'll pick this up on the other side. We want to get, again, we missed a call. We'll get the callers back in and talk about whether you make decisions, purchasing decisions, or decide to take on someone's service based on their marketing, and if there's a Bahamian component to it. Does it really influence you? We'll get into all of that after the break. This is Morning Blend Business, our morning brand series. continues in just a bit.
2023. Music, food, and entertainment happening this Friday. It's gonna be many beautiful colors displayed by beautiful people. Proud to be a Bohemian and love and service again, one people. Officially, we'll represent in every way. February the 24th is 242 Day. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bohemian in every way. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bohemian in every way. Celebrate with us on the 24th of February, this Friday, 242 Day.
Zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
242 Day, February 24th. It's 242 Day. Proud to be Bahamian. Represent your Bahamian pride on 242 Day. Wear your national flag colors or Bahamian prints. Enjoy delicious Bahamian dishes, rake and scrape with Bahamian music, art, and entertainment all day long. Be sure to post those photos with hashtag 242 Day. Hashtag Celebrate Bahamas. Friday, February 24th. Check the calendar, cause it's 242 Day.
Fidelity, we're good for you. Whether your business is in store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Business Report brought to you by CFAL. The government is shooting for a 1.9% surplus in the 2024-25 fiscal year. That would follow 2 years of improving deficits. That's according to Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkitis. Halkitis making the comments during the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing. He explained that the government has contained its costs and is on a path to meet projected deficit targets. He says they are roughly on target to meet the 4.3% deficit projection for the full year, and they're optimistic that they will either meet or exceed that target. Halkitis is also saying that maintaining that business license applications will be processed by the March 31st deadline. He says there's been steady progress in this, with approvals near 19,000 as of this week. The opposition has criticized the new business license renewal requirements imposed by the Department of Inland Revenue, which include proof of income from businesses earning less than $100,000 in revenue annually, as well as the real property tax information of commercial property owners. The government has tabled the long-promised legislation to repeal and replace the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2018 and Public Finance Management Act of 2021. Passed under the Minnis administration, the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the Public Procurement Act, the Public Finance Management Act, and Debt Management Act and Statistics Act were aimed at providing greater accountability through regular fiscal accounting. However, shortly after gaining governance and amid criticism by the opposition and his administration, that his administration was failing to operate in accordance with the laws, Prime Minister Philip Davis called the bills flawed, adding that the public servants required to carry out the tasks stipulated in the bills have not been trained or appointed. The Public Finance Management Bill of 2023 will repeat repeal the Fiscal Responsibility Act and sections of the Financial Administration and Audit Act. However, it would incorporate material provisions of those repealed acts into a consolidated finance and fiscal responsibility framework. And the 108-page bill was tabled in the House of Assembly this week. Crypto Isle launching its association membership program during an open house this week, opening its facility up to the country's largest professional and civic organizations to familiarize them with the space and to offer their special access to event spaces, training rooms, meeting spaces, and an executive boardroom. Crypto Isle co-founder Davinia Bain saying the burgeoning co-working space is interested in creating linkages between its members and other businesses looking to marry each other's services or connecting businesses with charitable organizations. Overseas, a German court today rejecting a farmer's bid to force automaker Volkswagen to end the sale of vehicles with combustion engines by 2030. In the case at the state court in the western town of Detmold, the farmer saying that drier soil and heavier rains because of climate change are harming his fields, cattle, and commercial forests. He's arguing that Volkswagen is partly to blame for that, as the mass production of vehicles running on gasoline contributes significantly to greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere. The court ruled that the suit was unfounded, though, and it said that it couldn't establish that the alleged damage to the plaintiff's property, health, and rights could be remedied by the measures he demanded alone. Environmental group Greenpeace, which supports the case, has accused Volkswagen of relying on the arguments of climate change skeptics to avoid bringing forward its deadline for extending the sale of combustion engines from 2040. Trading on the BISX from Thursday, market movers, Bank of the Bahamas moving 11,000 shares, closing at 338, up 6 cents. Cable Bahamas moving 2,000, closing up 6 cents to 450. Focall moving 9,400, up 5 cents to 3.99. Consolidated Water up 2 cents to $3.08, and Emira Incorporated down 4 cents, closing at 9.74. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,589.70, up 7.61. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Part of 242 Day, 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way, 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. Your Bahamian colors, be patriotic, cause we bout to get loose. Someone say how loose.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Stephen Hanna. It's our Morning Brand series every fourth Friday each month, and Roy Ann Dean is our guest with this series. And we've been talking about branding, Bahamian branding, and whether that's important, whether that's necessary all the time, what it means, and in everything from what we hear locally and even to the images that we present internationally. I want to get your reaction, what we've been saying so far this morning. We've got some interesting text here. But give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook 796.
What are people saying?
So this text here says, tell Royanne that we hotel workers don't change our accent when speaking to guests. We might speak a bit slower so they can understand, but we don't change it, no. Well, I've heard some folks.
This is a general statement. It's not every single person
Right,
who
not
works
everybody, but
in hospitality, but that's a very general statement.
Yeah. Some people certainly will put on something unbelievable like, wow. Okay. This one says here, I don't think we need every commercial with heavy Bahamian dialect, but if you're promoting something happening in the Bahamas, don't come pronouncing conch as conch or whatever. The government or PLP commercial on Facebook videos talking about food security and strides the government has made has a guy narrating that sounds like he has a borderline American accent. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know what that means. But okay, so let's just talk about it. Let's hear it from you, audience. Does it bother you to hear that? Do you wish that people didn't sound like that? What is it? Does it make you not want to buy the product? Are you more inclined to? If it's a big company here that's encouraging you to buy local, but their ads all sound like they were made in the States or in England or something, do you not want to support? What does it do? And should it do something? So let's hear. Well, what about you guys? Does it do anything to you? Or do you like I can't deal with these folks because they don't support the local creatives?
I don't know. I mean, I think it goes back to what the product is. But I'm also looking at, because I'm more attuned to like what happens in the back end. So
okay, so let's say it isn't one. Yeah, let's say it isn't one that has they're headquartered in the Bahamas, but they still do that. Does that make a difference to you?
I think I like to hear some, like, if there is a voiceover, I like to hear a voiceover that sounds Bahamian. Now, what I want to hear something that sounds like I can relate to that brand. And it's not to say that person can't speak standard English, or that person is speaking in colloquialisms, right?
Yeah.
It depends on, like I said, that really is tied into what that brand is.
Yeah.
Right? And what that brand wants to position itself as. So let's say, for example, I love the Superwash commercials, right? Because those commercials are very relatable. But having that with an American accent would not really, that wouldn't really connect in the way that the current commercials do.
Very bizarre. Yeah. Stephen, what about you?
It depends on the product, and it depends on who the target audience is. I don't know if right. Yeah. So I'll leave it at
You
that.
wouldn't stop patronizing someone because you only have four.
Well, I live in the Bahamas, Dwight. There are some companies that I would love to stop patronizing, and there's one in particular that I refuse to go into.
But is it because of the marketing?
That's because of the threat of legal action.
Not marketing, not because of the marketing.
I hate their soca ad that they play underneath.
People don't go. I think people don't go that far. I mean, I don't think people will go that far to be like, I'm not going to go to this company because their ads are using an accent that. The reason why, people choose to engage with companies or brands is because they like the brand itself. The accent may not be good, or not good is not the right word. The accent may not be a Bahamian accent, but if that product or service is what you want, it's provided how you want, and it is at a price point that works for you, and the customer service is good and the experience is good, you're going to use that product or service. So the accent is a part of it, but I think that's not the full story. That's a part of what that brand is, and in particular for that particular asset.
Yeah,
that's not the entire brand.
But like what Stephen was saying earlier, though. But I mean, if you have choices, if you have choices, and this person in their marketing is they use Bahamians, they use Bahamian images, they use the actors, the voice work, and you're offering similar services. Shouldn't it make a difference to you? They support Bahamians. They're not just asking for us to support them, but they actually are practicing what they're preaching.
Right, but that also can be seen in other ways. So if you have a company that has a voiceover in their ad, that does not like an obviously Bahamian accent, but they do a lot in the community, right? You're not going to make, your decision is made on more than just what's happening in that ad. It may be that there's a great community component where that company is very visible in helping people in the community. Tricky. They may be very active in that way. That also may influence.
Very tricky.
What you do is a big thing now in business. That's environmental, social and governance, or sustainability and governance. if that company is saying, okay, listen, we're reducing our carbon footprint, we're using less paper, we're going to be greener, we're helping, organizations to be more sustainable, et cetera. That may also influence whether or not you engage with that company.
Okay. Boy, well, it's tricky. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to you, Dwight, Stephen, and the other guest you have
Roy
inside
Ann
of
Dean,
the,
yes.
Studio.
Morning.
I think Ryan.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Sharon Johnson, critical thinker. I think I'd like Stephen to know that a study done about 5 years or so, maybe a little longer ago, definitely pre-Dorian, actually kind of agree with him concerning the Bahamas. What it says is that the Bahamian advertising and marketing, and they said it's become more of advertising than it is marketing, that because we already have a brand established that we may not totally utilize to its maximum capacity. But it says that we somehow have blended our messaging to the point that it's become from blend to bland. And one of the primary focus was that it says that we one time provided sun, sand, sea, and service. And it says we still have sun, sand, and sea, but we have removed service from what it is we provide, and even in our offering. One of the important aspects to it says that hospitality and tourism are related industries, but they have distinct differences in the terms of their focus and scope. And where I think, Dwight, you heard me say this a number of times, hospitality is more focused on the service aspect of the industry, while tourism focused on the broader experience, the travel, exploration, and we somehow think it's just one thing that we have. And for me, I always used to confuse them, because I still do, because I say hospitality is the experience, tourism is what we do, because you don't have hospitality tourism, hospitality sports, you have sports tourism, educational tourism, etc. But I think we have to, considering that there's a whole host of people around the world that's beginning to recognize that the hospitality and tourism industry, being the 9th or the 10th largest in the world, industries in the world based on revenue, is becoming an attractive thing for them to enter into as we begin to capitalize on cultural and heritage and the distinctive in actually what we are targeting and as to what we are selling.
Okay.
And I think that we keep doing the same thing that we keep doing, and one of the things that we keep ignoring is the digitization of the space and the fact that person-to-person relationship in the travel industry has been taking more front and center in the experience. So our ads from these broad thing of in the what's called on the buses, in Times Square, and all the different things also has to be considered. We seem to be riding on we stop and pause. You'll seem to be riding on the cruise ship type environment, because our stopover visitors who want the immersive type experience have not grown significantly as the cruise ship has, and they have mastered the experience, inclusive experience type of thing.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's interesting points there. Let's take this call very quickly, and then we want to get to some other things. We don't have much time left. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Yes, you're on the air.
Okay, how you doing?
Good.
Okay, I called you guys the other day.
Okay. We're talking about marketing right now and the Bahamian image in our messaging here. All right. So, you mentioned some good points. Everybody has, C. Allen talked about it too. I mean, and just thinking about back to tourism messaging and the destination, that we can count the number of times the voice has been a Bahamian. We know that personally, right? I can think of 3 times in my adulthood where that happened. But there are other countries where it's always Annian, that's a Jamaican, that this, but it's not always going to be Bahamian. What should we take away from that? Well, why are we doing this, but other countries aren't doing that?
Well, Dwight, if we think about the commercials for the Bahamas. To my knowledge, I have not seen a commercial where that voice is not a Bahamian voice. I cannot recall a commercial for the Bahamas without a Bahamian.
Oh boy, Ryan,
voice
the
in
voice
there.
is more rarely a Bahamian voice. I can count on the one hand the people who I've heard in the last 10, 20 years. Really. And I mean, and I don't think we can count Lenny Kravitz, honestly. But
Bahamian
it's
Bahamian voices or Bahamians in the ad?
voices at the end where if there is a voiceover, the announcer is a Bahamian. That's very rare for an ad about the Bahamas. Now, some of the hotels are Atlantis or Bahama might do it differently sometimes, but it's very rare. It's very rare. What should we make of that?
I don't know, because I feel like they have been Bahamian. Maybe the accent is not a strong accent, but the voice itself, it's not American. And it's not like a distinct. It's not really a distinct accent from the U.S. or from Canada.
So you know
right?
the
First
people?
thing.
Because I know when I know the person, I know the
sometimes.
person. But
Sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes, but overarching in that case, because you're marketing to a broad audience, I think the purpose of those ads and for the people who are making those ads is that it is an accent that people can understand, right? So the key things are they speak slowly, they speak clearly, and it is not an accent that is from a discernible like U.S. Right? But because I've done one of those ads, and I can't say that somebody would be like this is a definite Bahamian voice or a Bahamian accent, right?
But we
the
would
goal is
know.
to speak slowly, right? Like you would know that, but I mean, I still think that that goes beyond the voiceover. When you talk about this mass marketing, it is really a lot about the messaging and the image that communicates that. The voice is important, but that doesn't make or break the ad.
I hear you. I mean, but it really should be a Bahamian.
Especially
should
for a destination ad.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Bahamians don't sound like other Bahamians, sure, but it should be a Bahamian at least. It should be a Bahamian at least.
I agree.
Some messages here as we get ready to wrap up. This person says here, in my neighborhood in the 70s, we spoke gibberish to anyone in there familiar with the culture. What?
I didn't mean unfamiliar.
Oh, so they used to intentionally speak nonsense around strangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people don't know, like, there are people who don't know that Bahamians speak English.
This person says there, I'm 62 and I've never heard an ad with a Bahamian voice. Oh boy. Well, that's extreme. But it's not the norm. It's not across the board all
I'm
the
trying
time.
to think. I know that Tennille sang
I heard
in it,
I
but
heard
that's not a
Tennille,
voiceover, though.
Anthony Skibo Roberts, I've heard him. I can't. And you say you did one, Royanne?
I did one.
Yeah, I can't. Other than that, I really can't say. But if you know better, folks, let us know. Let us know. All right, before we go, 242 specials. More people a free promo today because we're in a good 242 Bahamas mood. All right, so you know he was going to do something, right? The Bush Cook has 242 day specials.
Why are you saying Corey name like that?
2 for 20. So 2 for 20, right? 2 for 20. You can choose between the mini conch fettuccine, the 4-goat pepper lime chicken tacos, the mini gully wash fettuccine, the chicken in the bag, the guava barbecue wings, and guava duff waffles. So pick any two of those for $20 while supplies last. That is a pretty good deal. Miss Daisy is back, Stephen. She's doing an encore performance. Where did I do with the message? Where did it go? Here we go. And so Daisy Hits the Jackpot is coming back on March 18th. But if you, today, you will get $10 off for 242 day. If you, right? Off the $40 tickets. You get a discount today if you buy your ticket today. Right? And we told you some earlier. Both Jimmy's and 700 are offering specials today. And so that's some great stuff going on
You got
there.
2 for 2 at Jimmy's and 3
And
for
3 for 5 at 700. So everybody get out now, and but be responsible in your celebrations. Royanne, what are you doing for 242 Day? Anything special?
2 bears is 24 ounces.
She there? Did we lose her? She's gone already?
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Anything special for 242 Day?
I think I may post some photos. I know that there's been instructions on what to post, how to post, just to celebrate it. But the main thing is just being proud to be from 242 and represent the 242.
Absolutely, absolutely. Stephen, what are you doing today?
I'm going to work. That's my contribution to the community.
That's beautiful. And after work, what about that?
I will be going home.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be working on his Bahamian accent.
Charity begins at home.
Well, I'm looking for conch salad and some Bahamian adult beverages today. That's what I'm doing.
2 bottles is 24 ounces, Dwight, just so you know.
Thank you for
And
that.
on 242 days,
So
you
that's
should limit it to
perfect.
yourself
24.
to two bottles.
That sounds pretty good. And then one tiny sip for the other 2. Everybody have a great day. Post those pictures. We want to see them. Enjoy 242 Day, and let's work to make the next one even bigger than this. Thank you to everybody who's been here. Royanne, thank you so much. Talk with you again next month. Stephen, see you next week. I'll be back on Monday. Stay tuned for Aaron Reed and Cecil Nuri, and on the clock in Guardian Radio AM. Happy 242 Day. We leave with more of Solo.
Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. Your Bahamian colors be patriotic, cause we bout to get loose. Someone say how loose? Loose like Bahamian goose. February the 24th, 2023. Music, food, and entertainment happening this Friday. It's gonna be 10 beautiful colors displayed by beautiful people. Proud to be a Bahamian in love and service again, one people. Officially, we'll represent in every way. February the 24th is 242 Day. 242 Day. Time to celebrate 242 Day. Proud to be a Bahamian in every way. 242.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.